Hi guys, well this is so long overdue. I apologise for my absence in my video blogging, but hopefully I'm back on track now. So firstly, for those of you who don't know me, if you're coming via YouTube, because I upload this video via YouTube to get to my blog, so even if you're coming through Instagram and you know who I am, if you're coming via YouTube, most of the time you just stumbled across this. So my name is Marcia and I'm the founder and editor of a website based in Australia called Not So Mumsy, which is all about life and style for the modern mama. And I share, as long as interviews and tips and things like that, I share my own personal motherhood journey. And part of that has been a bit of a struggle to conceive our second child. So I started kind of video blogging it as a way for me to kind of get my emotions out, I guess. And along the way, I found that it was starting to help a lot of people. And so I started a bit of a series about our infertility and kind of how we were coping along the way. So just as a quick recap, we started trying for our second baby when our first child Archie turned 3, and it was basically almost a 2-year journey, which included multiple miscarriages and sicknesses and all sorts of other things that stopped us from being able to have a child. It wasn't an easy decision to go for IVF treatment for us. I am a very natural and organic person in all aspects of my life, including fertility. When we conceived Archie, we went on a 3-month total body cleanse and a fertility program to get ourselves ready for his conception. After our second miscarriage, we went and had a meeting with IVF, and we decided, because of our miscarriage history, that we would do the IVF treatment with PGD testing, because even though we were falling pregnant, we didn't know why we were losing the baby, and we had lots of tests about it. And we figured if we did this testing that it would basically check the embryo and give us the best chance of having a child without going through another loss. So that brings me to this video, which is all about how we actually got pregnant. So, as you can see, I'm pretty far along. I'm actually 23 weeks pregnant, and I apologise for not doing any video blogs about actually falling pregnant and kind of the first trimester. I was planning to, but I was so sick and really unmotivated the first 3 months to do anything. And also I think another reason is that I was a little bit anxious that it wouldn't kind of work out. And you know, I'm a worrier by nature, and I'm still nervous about things, you know, as most women are, especially if you've experienced losses before. So I kind of was trying to protect myself a little bit. I didn't want to really kind of shout it from the rooftops and say, oh, well, you know, do a weekly video blog. But I think I'm pretty much far down the line now that I would love to share this experience, and for me as well to have this on record, to show the baby one day, which would be really exciting. So this video is about how we actually fell pregnant through IVF, and just a little bit of a quick recap, because I'll be doing video blogs probably every couple of weeks until the birth of the baby. So when we finally decided to go through, so we did a round of IUI, and we did some stimulated cycles, and that wasn't working. So we decided to go for IVF with PGD testing. The hormones totally messed with me. I had a lot of side effects with the hormones, but I kind of expected that. And overall, looking back, I think my experience was really wonderful, obviously, because I got pregnant first go. But I went through IVF Australia, and I just found the nurses and the doctors there just to be wonderful. So, you know, even though it was a taxing experience, at the same time, it wasn't a terrible experience considering what I was doing to my body. So the morning that we went, so I had 15 eggs taken out, and we had, I think, 11 fertilized, 9 were great day 3, 5 were good day 5, and then when we did the PGD testing, there was only 1 embryo in the end which was 100% normal embryo. So for us, the PGD testing was absolutely the best decision that we've made, because if you normally do IVF, you put it in on a day, put in the day 5 blastocysts back in, and what looked like we had 5 healthy embryos, so they were putting 1 each month or 2 or whatever, and we would have miscarried 4 out of 5 of those embryos. So we just kind of expedited the process, and a lot of heartache obviously, by actually doing the PGD testing. So I'm so glad that we did that. So if anyone's been experiencing miscarriages and are going through IVF, I would 100% recommend doing the PGD testing. So we had 1 embryo, we had 1 shot, and I don't know, I was saying to my husband at the time, I don't think I want to do IVF again if this doesn't work out, but let's just kind of see how it goes. So I was quite positive going in to put the blastocyst back in, and it's actually quite a sweet little story, because when we were driving in to get the procedure done, we were driving along probably the busiest highway in Sydney, and just before we turned into, literally within a minute before we turned into the IVF rooms to get the procedure done, this massive pink balloon flew out of nowhere and landed right on the windscreen of our car. And my husband was like, my goodness, that is a sign. And I was like, whoa, like, he's not a sign looking person. He's not like I'm always about the universe and the symbols, but he was just like, wow, that is a sign. So I felt pretty good going in. I felt pretty, I was at a place, I'd done a lot of meditations and a lot of kind of self work, and I was like, you know what, this is the best shot we're gonna have, and if it works, it's meant to be, and if it doesn't, it's okay. And I was really okay with it not working. I was planning to book a trip to New York, I was planning to do all these other things if it didn't work. So then we had that 10-day, I think it's about 10-day wait before we found out we were pregnant. That was a long 10 days. It was a long 10 days. And my husband actually left to go overseas for a month during that time. So it was just Archie and I Googled everything that you could do to increase the chances of the baby attaching. I ate the pineapple core. I didn't shower for like 3 days, and then I had like kind of lukewarm showers. I don't know if any of that helped, but I tried to stay calm. I was doing my meditation. I was cramping quite heavily throughout, which I thought was quite a good sign, because I cramped so much when I was pregnant with Archie that I thought that my cycle was coming like really badly for like 3 days, I think. So I remember I was at a cafe doing some work, and Archie was in preschool when I got the phone call of a lady saying, you are pregnant. And I could not believe it. I was just ecstatic. I think kind of everyone looked at me in the cafe. I was like, oh my gosh, oh. Like, I didn't say what was going on, but I was just like, obviously had a positive phone call. So I think it was 4 in the morning in the UK, and I went out and I called my husband straight away, obviously, and he had just found out that his really good friends over in the UK were pregnant as well. So I think it would have been pretty hard for him, because they were celebrating at that time that they were pregnant, if we weren't going to be pregnant. But I mean, we were kind of used to everyone announcing pregnancies around us anyway. As anyone who's going through fertility knows, that's really one of the hardest things, is kind of everyone seems to be getting pregnant except for you. But we were pregnant. So, over the moon, absolutely over the moon that we were pregnant. It then started kind of the anxiety, those first few weeks, well, for me, who lost babies at 10 weeks, that first trimester is quite nerve-wracking. But I was just trying to be positive, and I was like, if it's meant to be, it will be. I've done everything. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. So let's just see what happens. The most comforting thing for me was that I was so sick. So that, well, it wasn't morning sickness for me, it was all day sickness. I didn't vomit. I did not vomit once, but I wish that I could, so I would feel some relief. It was worse for me in the evenings. It was really terrible, but I was so grateful for it because I was pregnant. I didn't care. I kind of slowed down the work front. Obviously didn't do any videos, didn't do, my husband was away 6 out of the first 12 weeks of the pregnancy, so it was a bit tough with Archie, but I was so blessed and grateful. I didn't complain about the sickness. I didn't mind, I felt horrible, but I was like, this is a good horrible, because this means that this is a healthy, viable pregnancy. I had a little bit of morning sickness with Archie, but I had no sickness with the babies that I lost. So I thought that it was a really good sign. My hormones were going nuts as well. I experienced so many things that I didn't experience with Archie or the other pregnancies. The itchy skin being the most frustrating thing. I couldn't even sleep. I mean, you get the pregnancy insomnia as well, but I couldn't even sleep because my skin was itchy. It's not the itchy, the stretching itchy skin. It's these intense itchy legs, which apparently is hormones. I was like, what's going on? Another wonderful side effect of the pregnancy for me has been the worst dry eyes. I can't even wear any mascara or anything. My eyes are so dry. And then comes the glorious skin tags. I mean, it's all wonderful, isn't it? The stretch marks on the hips. But you know what? I'm taking each day as it comes, and I'm really trying to enjoy everything in the pregnancy. So yeah, so here we are. We're at 23 weeks pregnant, so I can't believe next week I'll be 6 months. I feel the baby rolling around all the time inside me and kicking. And we decided not to find out the gender at this stage. I may change my mind getting closer to, because I am a bit of a control freak, and I never thought that I'd be the surprise person, but we changed our mind. The reason being is that we've been told both ways for this pregnancy. When we were 12 weeks at the scan, the lady, without even asking really if we wanted to find out, said, "Oh, I think that I can tell you what it is." She said, "I'm about 70% sure." And we said, "Oh, well, thanks. You just basically told us it was a boy because, you know, that's the gender that you could tell more than if it's a girl." And she's like, "Oh, yes, you know, maybe even 80%, 70, 80%. And we're like, okay. So we thought we were having a boy, so we got used to having a boy. And then we went to see my OB about 3 or 4 weeks later, and she was like, "Take that with a grain of salt." She said, "You can't tell, it's too early. It looks the same at that gestation." And she said, "But because you did PGD, I know what you're having. I can see it in front of us." So we thought, okay, we'll just get confirmation. And she said, "Okay, you're having a girl." And we were like, "Oh my goodness, we're having a girl." So for the next 24 hours, we thought we were having a girl. And then she called up, she said, "I'm so sorry." She said, "I was reading your chromosomes, not the baby's." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." And she said, "But I'm going to call up IVF and find out for you." And I said, "You know what?" I said, "We don't want to know. We don't want to know." I said, "This is a sign. I'm just so happy and grateful to have a baby. I would be blessed to have a boy. I would be blessed to have a girl. I just want a healthy baby." And that's obviously just how we feel. So we're going to have a surprise. The only reason that we might change our mind is Archie really wants a girl. I think he feels a bit jealous if it's a boy. So if we feel that he needs to bond, so he doesn't try and like whack his baby brother over the head if it's a boy, then we will maybe find out with him in the room when we go to a later appointment, maybe when we're, you know, over 30 weeks, but we shall see. But anyway, thank you for listening to this long video blog. Apologies again that it's so overdue. I will be doing them every 2 weeks now and doing different types of video blogs. I want to do something about my natural skincare routine. Obviously everything is natural, organic, pregnancy safe. I'll do some fashion blogs and also just some updates of how I'm going along the way. But yeah, thanks for watching if you got this far. All right, see ya.